right now. All right, people. Hang on. We're going to do a quick little bit. Hold on for me, Classic. We're going to Canada here. Last episode, before Frag 19. Okay, I wanted to do a bit where I introduced out of the suitcase. You didn't see what I was just doing down there. You'll see it when the episode comes up tomorrow. But anyway, thank you for bearing with me. Here we go. I am Andrew Big D Marrone. We are back for another episode of Laying It Down with Big D. I already said who I am. And I think it's enough yapping from me for a moment. Let's introduce my guest, co-Frag interviewer host, because I will be doing Frag interviews this weekend. But Frag interviewer legend himself and North American Counter-Strike legend, Mark Classic Marrone, future Counter-Strike legend, I meant, is what, because we're building up to those HLTV pages. But we saw, if you saw what this man is capable of on a pistol round on Anubis, oh boy, you would not be shaking your head at what I'm saying right now. Anyway, Classic, how are we doing today, dude?
I'm doing great. I've been looking forward to sitting down, laying it down with Big D. I was gonna lay down myself, but my room's a little messy, so we'll do a little JDM. We'll lean back for the Big D real quick.
That's good. I mean, you get to sit here and lay and look at my mini chins and just. I told you it's gonna be just a casual call. Well, and it's late afternoon here. Big D's had a long day. We just closed out OSS season 9 and headed to Canada here this weekend and going to the LAN event. But let's talk about the Classic story. Let's go back in time here and talk about how he got into Counter-Strike here. What are your earliest memories of video games? And like, what were the earliest video games you played, and how did they lead you to Counter-Strike eventually?
I got to Counter-Strike in a very weird way, I would say,
Oh
but
boy.
the first video games that I really remember playing is I remember my dad used to live with my grandma for a little bit, and she had like a basement that's like full underground, right? No windows, nothing. So when the lights were off, it was pitch black down there. And she had this old school, like it was probably like a 50 or 60-inch TV, and my dad had his PS2 hooked up to that, and he would play SOCOM, and that's really what started it all. You know, my dad would get off the PS2, I would play some random games, whatever we had, whether it be racing games, whatever. So it really started on PlayStation. I was a console normie probably for, the rest of my life until I hit, I want to say it was 15 or 16. I was a freshman in high school, and all my friends were just getting into like gaming on the computers and stuff like that. So I asked my mom to buy me a pre-built for Christmas that came with no GPU, had an AMU, which is like a GPU and a CPU built in one. It was terrible, worst computer ever. But you used to be able to run Counter-Strike on those computers.
Which
Um,
version?
this was Go, definitely Go.
Okay.
Um, Cobblestone was still, so this was probably like 2015, end of 2015, early 2016, because I just got my 10-year coin this year.
Okay.
Um,
Congratulations.
so yeah, no, I'm getting old, Big D. I'm getting old. What can I say? But yeah,
Yeah, so
no, that
old,
was
dude.
it. We're getting there, but we're still grinding. Still grinding.
Dude, well, okay, that's interesting. I talk about this much on the show. There's been two notable categories that you can lump people into as to where they started with Counter-Strike, and it's either I had an older brother that, like, if you're talking to people that have been playing since like 1.6 or Source, it's usually I had an older brother that played. Or if you talk about people that started on Go, it's been people that started on Minecraft. But there's been a sneaky third category coming up that you've just made it have to happen, and that is you're the third person on the show to say SOCOM is the basis foundation of like where you're like, damn, I got an itch for tack shooters here, dude, and yelling on the mic and playing on this PS2. So shout out to the SOCOM nerds out there that that loved this. Maybe I wonder if they all migrated to Counter Strike eventually because SOCOM's dead, right? They haven't made a
Oh,
SOCOM game in
for sure, for
20
sure. I mean,
years.
I remember my dad had to get like an expansion like network card or whatever
Right.
for his PS2 so he could play online. So I could only imagine. I don't even think that that shit came out like PS3, Xbox 360 days. So yeah, that's just definitely dead. Rest in peace. Great game.
That's how, dude. That's how I feel about the old Splinter Cell games. I don't know if
Oh
you
yeah.
ever played the old Splinter Cell games, like the original ones. Not once they got to the Xbox 360, dog shit. Double Agent and Beyond, just dog shit. Splinter Cell experience compared to the other ones. They're fine games. They're fun in their own right, but like they were the start of Ubisoft being like, well, we know what gamers really want, and it's like they changed shit and it wasn't good. But yeah, dude, a lot of well, I'm salty right now too because the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 remake I just found out
Oh yeah, I saw that.
they fucked it.
Dude,
Tony,
I find myself like emulating those games way more. Like the old PS2 games, like Sly Cooper and like the old Need for Speeds. But like the Xbox 360 games, like I don't know. Even though that was like my peak gaming experience, I still always go back to the PS2 games.
and I'm
They were
sure it's
just
a
a golden
totally
era.
legitimate emulation for when this
Oh
hits
yes,
millions of views. By the way,
yes, yes.
um,
I burn the ISOs myself.
that's fantastic. Good call. That's the way to do it. Yeah, I mean that actually gives me the idea that I should just play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 that way, is because I'm sure my computer could handle it. And yeah, it's a bummer seeing companies do that. Well, you know what though? We play Counter Strike, and do you play other video games outside of Counter Strike still, or is it only
These
CS?
days, these days it's
I saw you
mostly
peeking
CS.
recently. I saw you
I was
peeking
peeking.
hard.
I'd be
We
peeking a
still got
little bit.
we still got to peak together, which
Yes.
we're peaking right now.
The, can you get this straight with me? There's an end to that game, right? I've only gotten to like the second stage, and then I die.
Okay,
So
well,
there's
two
like a
things.
finish line,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely, yes. Yes, I don't want to. I'm gonna do a brag here. I have made it there multiple times, and I love it. Part of that game that's so fun is the map changes every day, so it's like a new experience each time.
Yeah.
Um, but yes, and if it makes you feel any better, I think that second. So there's four biomes, and then there's one final biome as well. So it's five total, but there's four like different settings that you're in, and the
Yeah.
final biome is similar to the fourth biome. Anyway, uh, that second biome, the jungle, is 100% in my opinion the hardest in the game. Some people say the next one is harder depending on how you deal with like navigating up the mountain, but like it's I think that next part is much easier than like the jungle. The jungle has rain that like is somewhat random enough that like you're making a skillful climb and it shows up and you're like, no, 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 as you go sliding down the mountain, like, and it sucks, and it's got random poison warts laying in the ground that like one
Oh yeah.
pixel is like hovering out, and he walks over and it blows up, and you're like, yeah, it's definitely that game is also kind of a buggy mess, I'm gonna say, but my God, it is really fun.
Yeah, it's super fun. I just wish, like, I don't know. It's really, it's hard to play that game like back to back to back when like, all right, you spawn in for the first time, you go up the first mountain, cool, right? That one's pretty easy. The second one, me and my friends have never been able to get past it. But then you go all the way back to the first one, and it's like,
Hmm.
okay, yeah, it's gonna take me, not that long to climb this mountain, but like, why can't I just start at the second one,
Hmm.
and then at least have a chance to finish the game, not in like one dry run, that's the perfect run or whatever.
Mm-hmm. You could
But
try getting good too.
well, I'll stick to mastering my movement in Counter Strike and Peak will.
I've been dog shit at Counter Strike since Peak's been out. mainly because I've been playing League of Legends too. But um,
Oh God, I actually played Teamfight Tactics for the first time in a while last night. So I was just playing
dude,
CS all day. I couldn't stand it anymore.
dude, yeah. I mean, I love CS, but what is it for you though that is like Counter Strike reigns supreme? Because there is something that no matter what, I'll take breaks. I'll always take a break, and it'll even be sometimes like 2 months. But like, I always come crawling back. Like,
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I've definitely like I've taken multiple like long breaks. And that's something I've told myself too is like I wish I when I picked up the game like give or take 10 years ago, I wish I just stuck with it because like my most recent phase was probably like 2 years ago. I had like a 6 month Tarkov like I was obsessed with
mm,
Tarkov. And I just always I don't know like I'll come back to CS just to like play a stupid like 10 man with my friends and then you just get the itch again and then it's just back to the grind. But I've been pretty consistent these past 2 years, especially since I've been playing the SEA a little more like seriously and stuff like that.
dude, Tarkov is a dark mistress. That one, she gets your hooks
Tarkov's
in it
bad.
in you, and you're it's over, dude. I have actually
Mm-hmm.
been kind of been itching to go back because I realize it's been 4 years since I there was like 2 solid months that I played Tarkov like 4 years ago, and I mean like all
When you
day,
play
every
Tarkov, you
day.
play Tarkov.
Right. It was funny because it was like my teenage years of gaming again playing that game when I finally
Mm-hmm.
got hooked. And man, it is so good, but I just yeah. You talk
In
about
four
cheaters in
years,
Counter-Strike. Tarkov
you
also makes me sad.
Tarkov does have a big cheater problem, but also like you were playing Tarkov when Tarkov was actually good. Now, I don't know if you've kept up with it at all, but the movement's shit. The recoil's absolutely fucking dog
I have
shit.
I have heard that stuff. It's
So
a completely
it's
different game, isn't it?
yeah. They just wiped though, like not too long ago. It's like a little like they finally put that the transit system in place so like you can only spawn to start your raid at like factory customs or like one other map and then you go on that map and there's like an exfil but it's not an exfil, it just brings you to like interchange or labs or whatever.
Oh, the maps are finally like connected.
Yeah,
Okay, it might be
so
time to go back into Tarkov.
some people like it, some people hate it. I haven't tried it because I've just been like, the season's starting this week. Actually, we play our first game tomorrow. So you know,
What
but yeah, it's terrible.
what division are you guys in? Are you main?
So we were in Maine
Uh-oh.
last season. Didn't
Here
go
it
our way.
comes.
We just got relegated. So
Here
we're
I'm
back in
over here
IM.
playing
Yeah, yeah.
Worlds.
Play the violin.
It's
It's fine.
violent
It
for you.
it hurts a little bit saying it, but actually last season was my first season in Maine ever. I was actually on a different team than I was on now. Um, and I think I played pretty well. We just couldn't win some of the games. A lot of close games, which was unfortunate for the record. But you know, I think this squad has a lot of potential. So I'm hyped.
Well, as much as I jest here, I don't mean to put you down by any means. You're still very young, and you also go to LAN. Like you give yourself LAN experience, which, as a player, no matter what happens, you're 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 building a resume for. That's what I'm trying to get at. You're building a resume for yourself that makes you valuable as you get older. So no matter what you do in Counter Strike, you're building value right now, even if it feels like a setback for a moment. So you guys are gonna go out there and dominate IM. You guys are gonna get into the upper bracket playoffs, a auto and domain, and then you guys are gonna 9-6 next season and start out 2026 main season 57. I want to say it'll be, yeah, season 57 or season 56. That's when Corrupt Esports is going to lock in, make main playoffs, and you guys will hit advanced by March of next year. Trust me.
Fuck yeah. And like I know you mentioned the resume, but I feel like I like and to kind of answer your question before too, like I'm not even playing the game. Like, let's be real. I know I'm not. I know I'm never making it to a Cologne stage. All right, well, let's put that behind us,
Not with that
right? But
attitude.
but like Jack Rowe, he's been like really passionate about people going to land, and it's true, man. Like if I really enjoy every single moment at a Fragadelphia, whether it be a Jersey, a Philly, whatever it might be. I've gone the frags where I've gotten O2'd and destroyed, but still was like, damn, that was just like a great weekend just to be on the server. Um, so yeah, get to land, bro. Get to land. It's fun. And when
I'm
you're across from me, I might scream a little bit, but
land. Dude, what are you watching down there? I just full screened you on my iPad here. What do you
I
you
got
got? You got
yeah,
Counter
Vinny
Strike
BB's up
running?
here. Yeah, hold on. Let's see.
Who,
Let's shout bro out real quick.
who is it?
He streams every single day. He's on a 1690-day streak. Vinny BB, my goat.
I like that, dude. All right,
Yeah, no,
shout
he's a
out
cool
Vinny
guy.
BB. Well, we might have to bring him onto the show and yap about some CS with him.
Fuck yeah, no. He's a fucking one of he doesn't play the game like competitively at all. Um he's
But
one
he's
of the
streaming
person out.
every single
Yeah.
day. He's putting content out there. He's
And
putting
he
a
actually
show on
plays
for
the
the
game.
people.
He doesn't gamble all day. He literally actually
I
plays the
like
game,
that. I
so
like that. Yeah, I mean,
respect.
dude, I've come to terms with the fact that gambling is just a part of our scene that we kind of more or less need to deal with right now, and like it's just a necessary part. That's it. Like we need to turn that money into good stuff when they sponsor these tournaments, right?
Yeah.
But I it does make me sad when I read posts like, wow, I just went to the top 5 content creators of Counter Strike, or the top 5 streams of Counter Strike, and none of them are playing the game. They're just gambling. And it's not even like it was the big event recently that Tim the Tapman and all of them did. It was just
Yeah.
that's what's happening. It's like, come on, guys. This game is like way more than that. What a weird thing that we're a part of, right? Like it's this very bizarre and deep thing that it's a tool that can either really build communities and bring people together and like teach you some life skills that are like really gonna make you a competent person later in life, or it could just ruin your life because all you want to do is sit and gamble on it, or turn it into like a money machine, or you know fuck, even was kind of like just pugging for 5 years, almost 10 years straight. They're just doing nothing but pissing in the wind and grinding. Like, it can, it can, it can go a lot of ways. Anyway, um, yeah, dude, Counter Strike is cool, and I think you guys are gonna kill it in IM this season. All right, dude, let's talk some frag. Like, how long have you been interviewing people at Frag? Is that a
So
recent thing?
yeah, that was just a dumb idea. So the first frag I ever went to actually was Frag Tap 2.
That was a year ago,
And
right?
yeah, give or take, maybe a little longer. Um,
Like earlier last year, though, right?
yeah.
Or late,
And
or
it,
October last year. Anyway,
it was my first event ever, and I was supposed to be subbing for a main team. And what ended up happening is the whole main team dodged. And they didn't like make it obvious that, the main team wasn't going to be there. So it was me, um, and a few other guys that go to the frags now. And then we got a message from the guy who like organized the whole thing and was like, "Oh yeah, I found this guy on Reddit and he's going to meet you guys at the venue and be your fourth." But we were still missing a fifth. And one of the people that were just there spectating, Mel, just happened to be there, and we were like, "Bro, like, can you play with us, please?" And he was like, "Sure." It was the worst LAN experience ever, but I was just like, "Wow, like this is LAN." Like That was like surprisingly like I still went home with a smile, because I don't know if you know Icarus, Gabe. He plays advanced and stuff like that, but him and
I
like
think I've heard that
Frizzy,
name.
Lil Beer, you definitely know Lil Beer because I know he
I,
was on the
he
show.
he was, yes.
Um, they ended up letting me sleep in their Airbnb that night, so I got to hang out with those guys and like kind of like really see like the upper echelon, if you want to
You
say,
got to
like
listen to
experience.
how like top players talk about Counter Strike.
Yeah, like even because they went 1-1 on the day, and a few of the players wanted to go out, and Frizzy was like, "We lost today. Like we do not go out and celebrate this." Like he was like so locked in, like ready to go back and talk Counter Strike. And just being around those guys was like, damn, like this is something I want to do. So I went to a few jerseys. Those are just whatever. They're like really local kind of tournaments, one dayers. Um, they just kind of scratched the land itch. But then uh, the last Philly was my first like big event back, and my teammate Cleb just happened to bring his like nice camera, and it was just a dumb idea. Like, yo, let me just go up to people, like players and just like random people, and just ask them the dumbest questions ever. And let's see where it goes. So then I ended up building up the courage to like talk to like Austin CS. Because he's got a little bit of clout. I didn't really know the guy, right? So I was
I
like,
get
fuck, I'm
nervous
just gonna
every
walk
time
up
I
to him.
talk to him, dude. Every single time.
He's a superstar, dude.
He's
You
a
know,
superstar.
and I asked him some of those dumb questions, and it popped off on TikTok a little bit. I thought the funnier interview was actually the Nick X interview because the way he answered the questions compared to Austin was just funny. And I asked him um, how's it feel to get dominated, which is the the legendary question.
That's the question that needs to be asked while I'm there. Every
Yeah, you
time
need 100%.
I'm gonna make sure I get losers interviews where I just that's the first question I ask. I think it'll really diffuse the entire thing and like make them realize we're here to have fun and not get too bent out of shape. Maybe not if it's like as the playoffs start happening and people are like vying for these VRS points, that might be a little
Yeah. I was gonna
insensitive,
say,
but
don't ask the people that come in second place how's it feel to get dominated
yeah.
because they
How
might be a
does it
little
feel to
upset.
get dominated? You just fought your heart out all weekend for second place. How does it feel? No, that's not the kind of question I'll ask. But yeah, this is where I want to open the floor and really explore. What other kind of questions should we be asking out there? Because, like I said, I've got big shoes to fill this weekend with what you've been doing. I'm hoping to kind of merge the idea with laying it down. We'll see what we can do out there. But what what should we be finding out from these players?
Um, you gotta ask the tongue twisters as well, right? Just ask them a question that doesn't make any
Right.
grammatical sense and see how they process it and answer it. As well as don't be afraid to get a little bit personal. Right? Ask them the tough ones.
Ask some of the tough ones. That's what Bonneman told me too. I gotta ask tougher questions. All right, so starting now, Classic. How much do you make after taxes in a year?
Not enough.
No.
Nah, not enough.
These are the tough questions, okay? No, I think that's too personal. Yeah, I think you're right. Well, and I'm gonna talk to Big Jackro too. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do we'll look for a content piece from Jackro Olive about what to bring to land because I think it's important. Listen. We're gonna try to make it fun for like spectators to come up to these things and enjoy. Because, dude, how fun! Like even when you get knocked out of the tournament early, how fun is it being at land for the rest of the weekend?
Yeah, it's that's what I was like saying before. Like no matter what the result is, except if it's a jersey and you get O2'd by by a guy that you have like not like beef with, but like every time we're in the server against each other, we always talk shit. And the last jersey I was at, I was sitting here and they were sitting right there. So after every round, you heard the chirping every time, and um, we didn't win a map that jersey, and my team was like, "Are we gonna take a picture like we always do?" I was like, "No, we lost. We don't deserve a picture. Let's go home." But no, those big events, dude. Just like I've met so many people that like the team that I met now. I met just like chilling at a frag, just like walking around after I got eliminated. So yeah, those events are sick. And
Caker and them.
yeah, Kaker and them. I didn't know them until Frag Tap, and I just happened to just be like BSing with them or whatever, follow them on Twitter, and then sooner or later, once I put out my looking for team, they were like, "Hey, you need one."
Get in here, dude.
Yeah, so go to LAN, even if you're going to fucking spectate, and just talk to people, dude, because you don't realize how small the actual scene is until you start going to these events and you see the same people every time, and you're just like, holy fuck, like this, face it, pugs, kids that will never go to these lands, I don't count them,
It
you
just
know.
doesn't matter. They don't. I'm not saying that their love for Counter Strike isn't an important part of our community, but like, if you're not making an effort to like get to the land and like really like, it's so cool starting to see more lands pop up around the country, like that aren't just frag. Because as much as they like being the leader and of like grassroots Counter Strike in North America, it sucks for our they know it sucks for our region that they're the only like land tournament we have, right? So it's cool seeing that stuff. Go down to land, find a local one, even if it's tiny and not VRS. Go in, when you go interact with people at land, you just realize the magic of the game. Because it's, dude, I wish I was there listening to the chirping. That the chirping is my favorite part of land, dude. Shout out to
Yeah.
Mads at Frag 18. I was wandering around that giant arena and I'd randomly just hear her screaming her head off at somebody across the arena, and I was like, damn, that is sick.
Yeah, and that's the magic of land too. Like Jackro is, definitely one of those like staples of people that you will see at every land because he's just one of those guys that is really committed. Um, and before the matches started, I came up to him, dapped him up, said what's good, blah blah blah. Then we ended up facing each other, and it was like he was my worst enemy for 40 minutes. And then the GGs happened, and it's just like slate reset. That's just how it
Back to
goes.
chilling.
Yeah. You can't go to a Fragadelphia and not talk shit. I'm a chirper for sure.
One day I am gonna play on a team at a frag event. I'll get O2'd right out of there, I'm sure. I'll talk some like old heads into like playing some Counter Strike with me, but um oh man, my brain's cooking right now. My brain was cooking there for a moment. I know some people that I might be real fun to like pull out of retirement and get up there to land. Could be a good time. You never know. We make a little run on them. Anyway, yeah, but the overall environment is what's so special. It gets lonely pugging all day, you know? Like even when you're with your bros and your people, it gets lonely just sitting inside playing Counter Strike by yourself.
Yeah, and the people I know, like I have a real job out of Counter-Strike. I know it's so surprising. Um, I'd be telling them like, "Oh yeah, I'm traveling to Philly this weekend to go play Counter-Strike," and I get some of the like weirdest looks, and it's like, you guys, you just don't understand. You don't
You don't
get
get
it.
it. You don't get it. It's the same thing as I think people that have never been to like a con before. Like I used to look at like cons, like Comic Con and like big conventions that like that like fandoms would like congregate to over the years as like I didn't understand it. And then you go to one and you see like how into it, even if you're not into it and you're a fly on the wall, you see how into it everybody is. And like when you're also into that thing like Counter-Strike, it's even more special. Like it's just like you get to go be a part of people's special place, and it's really really cool seeing all the dedication and creativity that comes with that.
100%. Yeah, and even being at the major was like pretty like surreal in terms of like you're just surrounded by Counter-Strike people all day. Definitely not the same experience as like going to a LAN because it's definitely a different crowd.
Right.
Um, but just being in those environments, yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I
but
go ahead.
watching the highest level of Counter Strike on that stage though, and listening to like every shot rumble the audience and being a part of the crowd, like screaming, and NA is loud and rowdy and fun to be a part of. Like that is its own magical experience. Go to those as well, because the more that we sell out those crowds, the more that those guys want to make an effort to come back here.
Yeah. I wish they would bring back. I used to go to the ESL New York's back in the day.
Did you go to
Uh,
2019?
yes, I did.
So you were there when Buckethead was born?
I was there when Buckethead was born. I think I was actually on the opposite side of the arena as him. But I witnessed Buckethead's birth. It was a magical event. Shout out Buckethead.
Yeah, we love that guy. I'm so excited to see him here in a few days. Um, Tomorrow, well, 2 days by today's when this. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's a few days. All right. And speaking of, how much, dude? As you get older, holy shit, you just have to clear your throat all the time. It's weird. Um, it's probably throat cancer. What do I know? Anyway, how much like how much Counter Strike do you follow outside of LAN, like professional Counter Strike, like either NA or Tier One?
I wouldn't say I'm a super fan, but I browse HLTV.
Okay.
I'm up with it.
Well, let's ask you this, because I only have not a few more questions. We'll stretch them out, but let's start. We've heard the classic story. We've got or it got a brief synopsis of how you got started in Counter Strike. We've talked a lot about LAN. I know I've been yapping a lot this episode, so uh, both thank you and my apologies at the same time. Uh, but I want to hear your thoughts on North American Counter Strike. Like, what do you think North America need? I mean, you've been around for 10 years. Like, you've been playing Counter Strike for a while. You've seen ups and downs in our ecosystem. I'm sure you were witnessing the Boston Major. Did you go to the Boston Major?
Not physically, no. But I remember being see that was like one of the points in times where like I was taking a little hiatus from Counter-Strike playing God knows what.
We need you
And
to take another break so we can win another major. Then.
yeah, maybe that's what it is,
No,
honestly.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, me and I remember vividly me and all my like friends from back in the day being in a Discord call like going fucking crazy, dude. But North American Counter-Strike right now it's a little weird. Right now it's a little weird, I would say, right? Because we have NRG, top
Uh huh.
dogs, right? They dominate when they play people within our region. But then they go
They
off
go
to
to
Europe.
LAN and clean up.
Yeah, it was pretty unfortunate what happened to them at the last frag. I thought they should have been in the finals against NIP, but I heard some some rumblings of things that happened at that event.
What
Um,
happened? I don't know.
I heard the Sharks intentionally like forfeit a game so they could get their seeding better, so they could hit the lower half of the bracket instead of the upper half of the bracket where NIP was at.
I don't know anything about that. I believe I remember you're talking about in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
I I was there, and I think I remember that one of the Sharks players was like deathly ill with food poisoning or something like that on one of the days. But I
I wasn't there. I wasn't there, so I won't put it against them. But they showed out against NIP. That would have been a nice final, but it was the semifinal was almost like the final for that one. That was a sick
yeah.
event. So yeah, they dominate everything here. Bro was a really good signing, I would say. But hopefully, I think they just made a few moves. I know OC's gone. Hex went to M80. Um, I forgot who they got, but we'll see.
Carson and
Uh,
Exotic.
yes, yes. So, oh shit, you're gonna see Exotic for the
I'll get
first
to see
time.
Exotic in person.
Yeah, fuck. But past that level, I think the like CL level is also a little weird right now. Like that whole boss situation is interesting, right? Because like it was like, okay, Blue Jays getting rid of everybody, Freshie staying, but then Freshie ended up getting that core to join him where they just kept the org cool. But then that old Blue Jays core was just in a weird spot. Now Snav's gone, so it's just like what the
And
that
he's
seems like
back
our
to
second
getting
most.
info, which is basically Timberman again.
Yeah, Dare's on there, I'm pretty sure, right? So
Yep,
it's like,
Darren, Shane.
yeah. Um
And
and
they're
it's
still
like
playing with Markey.
that lineup was so exciting to watch. I am a huge Fruit Cup fan. I think that kid has, well, I think he's about the same age as me. I shouldn't call him a kid. But
You're all
his
kids.
talent is crazy. So I really liked watching that roster, but now it's like, not as excited. But we'll see what they do.
Well, they're just right now for EPL. They were just fielding two players that I don't think are necessarily sticking around. So, Boss is still in a rebuilding phase right now, as far as I know. It's unfortunate that happened right during EPL qualifiers, but yeah, I'm with you on that, dude. We shout out to Gavin. He's laying it down. Alumni as well. I very much get to enjoy getting to. I got to talk to him in Vegas a fair bit, and he's he's just a good guy. I like that guy.
Yeah.
He's a passionate person that cares a lot about playing good team-based Counter-Strike, and I think as long as he continues to chip away at it, he's going to have a really good roster that he's like top of our region, if not competing with the world on. So, Fruit Cup, take us out of this mess, dude. We need you.
Honestly, save NACS. But it all goes back to, I think people, it's really unfortunate that we get this like really bad rep that we're like one of we're, if not the worst region in Counter-Strike, at least at the, tier one level. Um, but the more eyes we get on that kind of scene, like the ECL scene, I feel like the more people that are, not for nothing, like just getting into Counter-Strike, as like a 12, 13, 14-year old, that's where you need to grab them and just look what they're doing in freaking Sweden, dude. That Mao 9 kid, I remember seeing him when he was like 14, and now he just got signed to, I think it was Metasport. And it's like he's 16. Donk comes in, he's 17. You gotta get those young superstars out of the grave.
Well, and these guys, it's not just that these guys are young and getting into Counter Strike. It's the fact that these guys are young, and when they're getting into Counter Strike at like 15, 16, they've already got like 10,000 hours built into them from just DMing and playing the game from like 5 years old, right? So not only are they in these like crazy developmental years and what feels like the prime for gaming and esports, they've already got that muscle memory built into them as they're learning to play the game in a team setting. So it's been like say what you want about anybody in the world, Donk is the most exciting player to watch right now because that guy just walks through defenses like it's nothing, right? Like he just owns the server however he wants. He's it was like watching Simple 10 years ago when
Yeah,
Simple was starting to come up.
I'm a big
Yeah.
Monacy stan. I like
Are you?
Donk,
What does Stan
but
mean?
Stan, the Eminem song Stan, right? He's just like a super fan.
Is that where that comes from?
I think so. I don't really know.
Dude, I don't know.
It's
I
just
don't
in
know
my
where.
vocab.
No, I like it, dude. It's one that your generation has been saying, and I've been scared to ask. So thanks for allowing me to learn a little bit here tonight. When tea's gone cold, I'm wondering why. That's a good song. It's a
Great song.
sad, it's a sad song. Anyway, you're big. Go on. You're a big Mondesi stan.
Yeah, no, I think he. I know you said Donk is the most exciting player to watch Counter Strike, but I think Monizy is. He's just I don't know.
Monizy.
Monizy, Mayonnaise. Nah, he's just like. You ever seen his like old like CS:GO clips like back when movement was actually like good? And there's this one where he gets a kill mid, he jumps up, boosts himself in the ladder room, does like a jump, silent drops on the ladder, kills somebody cat, comes back up the ladder, bunny hops through the fucking gate and ladder, and then kills the guy bottom con. And it's just like I'd like to see Donk do that. I know he could shoot the heads, but can he do that shit? I don't know.
Well, I think that's what makes Counter Strike so exciting, right? Is it's this really creative art form in competition that you get to watch. Everybody has their own play style, and you get to watch that unfold. But yeah, you are right. Mondesi, man, a few years ago, back when CS:GO was still, you got even me pining for CS:GO movement because it has been like 2 years, and it's like, why does this feel like we're moving tanks around on this map? Like
Yeah.
it's I'm driving a Buick out here now compared to the Lamborghini I was driving around. Although I think that the Counter Strike global offensive movement on the Counter Strike level was more like a Ford Taurus compared to the like Mazda Miata movement of CS Source. I don't know how 1.6 was, but yeah, I feel like I'm driving a Buick out here in CS2.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. People will say they don't play the game because of those feelings, but like I've gotten used to it at this point, but I still won't deny the fact that CS:GO just on the movement level felt so much better. But I still rather have CS2. It might be a hot take, but
Is that
CS:GO
because you
had its
played it
own
on LAN
problems.
and you felt it on LAN?
On land, yeah, Counter-Strike 2. I've never played CS:GO on land, but CS2 feels almost like a different game on land. Like I remember that first LAN I was at on Inferno, right by middle. If you're coming from the T side, there's like that little like ledge, like I don't know, it's like a power, what goes on the side of the house thing you can like jump on. And I jump on it, and I was just about to swing the corner, like getting ready to do it, and I died. And I was just like, damn, he probably saw like the sliver of me and shot. And like,
That's how LAN is you don't have this big peeker's advantage where you're swinging out and killing every. That's what I want to play on LAN is because you get to go actually see what Counter Strike plays like, where you hold an angle and shoot them in the head as they come out, and there is not some peeker's advantage of I'm gonna swing past your crosshair before you can get out there. Shout out to peeker's advantage though, North American tier three,
yes,
tier four staple. Um, all right, classic. I got a few more questions for you, but I know you have a bedtime here to get to in 27
yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
Um,
Well, bedtime, aka practice. I know. I am team practicing. Wow.
don't sell yourself short. None of that. Don't talk about
No,
my friend that way.
we're going
Um,
for the ring. We're going for the ring this year.
I like that, dude. Yeah, win I am you go straight to advance if you win I am, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck Maine, dude. That's that's Slumpsville, you know. No, well, I only got a couple more questions here for you, I think. Yeah, you said you already shared with us that you're a Mondesi fan. Is there anything you feel like we haven't talked about that you'd like to like, man, this is something I want to talk about when you knew you were gonna
Um,
do this?
I did. I did want to give a shout out to the boy. Why not? It hasn't been like officially announced yet. I think they're working on it, but he has been coaching our roster this season. And
Nice.
having him, I know he's played a little bit. I was a big Fisher College. I really like watching them play. I watched a bunch of Fisher College demos back when before they had the like the weird, like mostly EU team, like the Corn Tatum lineup. Um, and I know he's coached those guys, and just having him, you know, uh, kind of like he'll sit down with me, look at my gameplay, and like he's very the type of like no filter kind of guy. So it'd be like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, and like having that kind of personality in the scene, and one that is actually like focused on, seeing our group of guys kind of get better at the game. Um, doesn't go undervalued. So shout out, why not? He's the GOAT.
Big Tony. I don't know if he still watches these, but shout out Big Tony. He's also a former laying it down with alumni. I'm excited to see him here in a few days as well. Yeah, dude. Well, how important is it having a coach for you guys? Is it changing a lot of things for you?
Um, well, we'll see how the season progresses. Like I said, this is my first season with this group of guys. So it's still like very new to me. I think we started practicing like 3-ish weeks ago. So we're still getting into it. It was the first time I've really had like um a guy that will sit down through all of our practices and even like our map time and stuff like that. Um, I think it's not you don't necessarily, I wouldn't say you need a coach, but it's nice having another set of eyes on your demos. I would say, to build on top of that, just in general, watching your demos, whether it be from an individual standpoint or more of like a team play standpoint, um, has excelled my game, to even higher levels. Like I used to play Mirage B Anchor like a total bitch, right? And Tony was like, "Why do you always feel like you got to go for the play, right? You're the fucking anchor, dude. Sit back, jump, 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 throw down a smoke, wait for your boys, play defensive." And then like the other day we were playing a pug, and they come to the rush B. I played defensive and just mow them down as they're coming in. And in my head, I'm just like, fucking why not? Like he said, play defensive. And the whole time as this fucking rush is coming in, I'm like, all right, I gotta play defensive now. And just like little things like that definitely will uh, improve you as a player. So yeah, I think it's very important.
I think that's exciting as hell, dude. To have it in that moment where you're like having the coach in your head. It's like Obi-Wan Kenobi talking Luke Skywalker through landing that, and then it works, and you're like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's fucking sick. All right, and it fires you up to like open yourself up more to like listen to it more often, and that's how growth happens. Yeah. All right, dude. Well, I got a couple more questions for you, and then we're going to release you into the wild here because this has been a lovely episode of Laying It Down. And you're welcome to come back anytime. There's rumblings, and mainly just in my noggin. Uh, there's rumblings up there of doing a live episode once a week, and I think I want to maybe get like a talk show going,
Fuck yeah.
Like Jimmy Kimmel Live or something like that, or late night with Stephen Colbert, that kind of deal. And I could definitely use a sidekick out there on the show. So if you get that room cleaned up and can come lay it down for the people, uh,
You had to throw
w-
it out there. I know it's very messy. I'm a bachelor. What can I say?
hey, me too, dude. Me too. It took a while for me to like get it to the point where me being like a neat, clean person. I'm not neat. This is still bachelor dirty. Like if you take a microscope to my apartment, it's not very clean, but it's I keep everything organized and I know where it is at least, but that's only been a few years. Anyway, dude, you've given me the opportunity to yap a lot here, whether or not it was you giving me the opportunity or me feeling comfortable enough to just fill this space with my hot air. Oh, you've got a cat over there as well?
Yes, this is Astrid. She has
Astrid?
thumbs. Astrid, like kind of
Astrid.
like, yeah, like the things in the
She's got
the sky.
thumbs.
Yeah,
Mama,
she
look.
is. She is. 2. She just turned 2, I believe. I've had her since she was like 6 weeks, so she's just like attached to my hip at all times.
Oh, hell yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
All
she's
right.
she's a pain in the ass, but I love her.
Well, I've got my final questions here for you. One, where does your what does your name mean? Classic.
So I actually got Classic from a Call of Duty like trick shotter back in the day. I just stumbled upon his video. I don't think he was a part of Phase or anything like that, but he would just make those like montages. And he spelled Classic with 2 A's and 1 S. And I stole it for a while with X Mr. Classic. Um, but then recently I was like, you know what? We're just gonna no one's running that in the Counter-Strike space, and that guy hasn't been on YouTube in like fucking 10 years, so I'm taking over the name now. Never
Okay. I like that. Honoring a legend. Okay, and then this is my final question for you. This is what I ask everybody, and it's not funny, so serious business time.
mind. Oh God.
How does it feel to get dominated?
I'm gonna I'm gonna divert to the legend Nick X with his answer here.
Okay.
I like being dominated.
Yeah, all right. We like that. So we like that a lot. All right, so let's ask you the real last question now, because that had to be in there. My last question for you, that's a little serious business. If you could talk to a younger version of yourself and give them some advice, this can be Counter Strike related or life related or anything. What would it be if you? This is for the younger generations, for millennia to come, to soak up and enjoy. So make it classic.
um it's gonna sound so cliche, but I would tell myself to not stop playing Counter-Strike. Like honestly. Like to just like there's the love of the game that I have now is definitely for the competitive side and just like like being in those like LAN environments, right? Where like you hit. I remember the one of the jerseys I was at. We were playing Tricksters, so it was like Gibby ATL, Enzo, Trick, and like that whole advanced core. And I was just playing with my buddies from like back in the day, and I hit like a sick 4K with an AWP, and I'm not even an AWPer, but had to bring it out because no one else wanted to do it. And um, I just remember standing up, looking at Trick, like, "What the fuck is up, yo? You like that shit?" Um, and just like that, I wish I just never stopped because I feel like I would be 10 times the player I am today. If I just stay consistent. So find your passion, stay consistent, and don't let anybody fucking tell you that you're doing some nerd shit and give you these dirty looks that you want to spend your free time playing Counter Strike or whatever it may be. Fuck them, dude. You only live once, man. So might as well enjoy what the fuck you do every day.
That's right. Damn it. You only YOLO once. All right, that's well said. All right, classic. Uh, this hot one style. This camera. This camera. This camera. Shout out to people. You gave a shout out for big coach Tony there. Anybody else you want to give a shout out to, or any plugs you want to talk about? Where can the people find you?
People can find me. People actually, I run in the pugs sometimes. I feel like I don't even tweet like the most like controversial shit half the time, but I'll run the pugs and people say they see my Twitter. So I guess I make some good tweets over there. So classic, 2 A's, 1 S, get it right, underscore CS2. I be live on Twitch all the time, classic CS2. I wanted to tell this to you too. Don't sleep on short form content.
Yeah,
TikTok,
yeah.
YouTube, Instagram. I'm telling you, I know it's annoying, but that will fucking,
Blow me
that's the
up.
other thing I get, yeah, is like, "Oh, I've seen you on TikTok. Like I watch your streams all the time." Even though I get like fucking 5 viewers, people apparently see my stream all the time. So, you know, um
We
Yeah,
got to get out
all the
there. You,
places.
you're not wrong. I'm hoping there's some kind of amateur editor that wants to volunteer and take the load off because I
Yeah,
suck at getting it together. And I got my routine down where I put these videos out and I grip it and rip it and then I ship it and I forget about it and I'm done with it. But I know there's more that can be done. There's growth to be done. And you never stop growing, baby. It's always a journey. So we're grateful for it. All right, dude. Thanks for joining me here, Classic. Thank you for watching at home. And that is gonna be it. All right. See you at LAN, everybody.